Hey, I mean, that is a good point.
I think we might start seeing some go back. Third round turkey week. It's time to talk some 3A football. Hello, everybody. It's Terry, but a great good one here. That's our design and printing 3A edition of Sideline to Sideline on L4 Media. And Grant, we get to talk our favorite week of football. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Can barely hear you in my ear, though.
Sorry.
There we go.
Is that
There you go.
better?
Yeah. I got a confessional here, though.
Whoa. Okay.
I'm going to say this in the 4A show. I kind of did the Texas high school football playoff thing a little. I did them wrong.
You're concerning me here.
So I went to a basketball game.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
I did. I went to a basketball game.
Wait. On high school basketball?
No.
College basketball?
National Basketball Association. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Oh, the Dallas Wings, the girls team.
No.
Oh.
I have them in my fantasy league, though. I would do you.
That's why you're doing.
You.
That's why, I don't think you would. You need to go look at that
actually,
roster.
no. They'd probably do me. Which, hey, I don't know. Maybe give me a couple of drinks.
Hey, 20.
Whoa, that thing.
Muscle relaxer.
Muscle relaxer.
So you went and saw the Dallas Mavs.
The Mavericks.
Yeah. So here's the thing.
Against the Kings.
You've become a Maverick basketball fan.
Well, just because I get to almost sit on courtside because I got connections, you know.
So you were there for their loss.
Yes. But I got to come clean because if anybody finds out that I went to a basketball game during Texas high school football playoffs, I'd be ostracized, right? So I think what I need to do is do a confessional to the playoff tree.
Okay.
Playoff tree.
Yes, my child.
Playoff tree. This is the confessional. Your playoff tree.
Yes. I'm listening, son.
Please forgive me, playoff tree, for I have sinned.
What was your sin?
Playoff tree. I went to a basketball game during the high school football playoffs.
Okay, what else?
Well, and then after that, but I don't want to get into that.
Okay, so the first part's not a big deal, but we really need to talk about that second part.
Tamales and strippers, but let's not get into that.
And muscle relaxers.
What should I? Well, it was one finger. It doesn't take a muscle relaxer for that.
You got to say 10 hell touchdowns.
And 2 Hail Marys.
And flog yourself. Not that. I'm talking about they
I mean, I was about to say I've got myself covered on the flogging yourself like 4 times a day, even at work.
Twice in the studio while the show started.
I know, right? Can you pick that towel up, by the way? So I've got to say to the playoff some touchdowns and then 4 Galena Park, North Shore, Duncanville Hail Marys. Hail Mary, Hail Mary, Hail Mary, Hail Mary.
You're good.
All right.
You're good, my child.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate
You're welcome.
The honesty.
Listen.
No.
X gon' give it to you.
We got to do it early, man.
Get it on your own. X gon' deliver to you.
Okay,
about that.
That's my fault. I forgot. You wouldn't have liked it. It was going to be the popcorn song.
No.
All right. So the reason we're doing
Def Leppard.
By the way, this is the Class 3A show. That's Grant. I'm Terry. But we got to do this early because just the way we do the shows right now. So I want to do this first. This is from Coach X. He's a real coach in Texas high school football. The greatest 8 words in the history of podcasting. Let's see what Coach X has to say. Hasn't been used so much in the past 2 weeks. Oh, sure you forgot Bam Bam. Sure you did. Or is it that my words are so perfect because I have the best words? Oh, God. Okay, Trump. They are so perfect. And the fact
long fella or long feller?
What?
A wordsmith, like a writer.
Oh, wordsmith. Like long fella. Long feller. That's, I guess, how he'd be called in Texas.
That's how they call it, Marshall.
You that long feller, ain't you?
You wrote
wait
about
a minute. I caught the Marshall part. I mean, you're right, but that's still
you
not
wrote
good.
about that oak tree in Louisiana, didn't you?
All you could do is write about an oak tree. Why don't you write about me and my goat? All right, they're so perfect. And the fact that I have like a 975 winning percentage. Wait, it's not as a coach because we know that for a not for a fact.
975. Did they win last week?
Last week, he doesn't make the playoffs.
I thought they
You
made the
don't make the
playoffs.
playoffs with a punt and shoot offense. I keep trying to tell you that, man.
Okay.
I do know his defensive coordinator's pissed because their defense on the year gave up 6 points a game, and they still went 0-10. I'm just telling you, that's how bad it is. So let's just not say them the way like it's never happened. Well, Terrence, silence is not golden. Give the people the voice of the people. Read through the voice of oppression, Sar Bennett. That is pretty ironic. Oh, and yes, you did say the F word on Sideline to Sideline in week 6 of the 2018 show.
I still remember that.
That's when I was drinking, so I probably did. And you denied it then, too. Anyway, John 3:16 says something about winning football games. Austin 3:16 says, I just whipped your ass. Coach X 3:16 says, just read my damn picks. All right, we're going to read your damn picks, you son of a bitch. All right, so what we do, and we do it each and every week in the playoffs, is we pick every game, and we are going to start ourselves in in Class 3A Division 1, Region 1. And boy, we got a hell of a game to start with.
Yeah.
Paradise versus Bushland. This game is being played Friday, Vernon Lions Stadium, 6 p.m. Paradise 11-1. Their lone loss to Brock, still in the playoffs. Bushland record 11-1. Their lone loss to Canadian, still in the playoffs. Grant, what say ye?
Man, look, it's hard to go against Bushland and their quarterback, Dawson Checo. But then you look at Paradise and what they have done. Their defense only allows 9 points a game. They got one of the most electric quarterbacks in the state of Texas when it comes to Class 3A in Austin Iglesias, who has about 1,700 yards passing, 1,400 yards rushing. Give me Paradise in a close one, but I think this is a sleeper of a game.
Is it a sleeper?
This game is, what did you say, Friday in Vernon?
Yeah, 6 p.m. in Vernon.
If we could clone ourselves, I would be at this game.
Okay, if we could clone ourselves, high school football with the least. My clone would be Robin Banks, and we'd be living fat off the land on an island in the beach.
Robin?
What are you doing?
Googling who that is.
Robin Banks?
Yeah. I know Tyra. Any relation?
Wow.
What?
You know what? You know what you've earned?
What?
I haven't done it all year, but with that joke.
That wasn't actually a joke. I don't know.
How is Robbing Banks a name?
Robbing?
Yes, Robbing Banks.
Oh, I know. Robbing. I thought you said Robin Banks.
There's Noe's friends, Robin.
Robin.
Oh, you met her.
Hey,
You met her.
Yeah, she's pretty. I'm married now. I can't.
She's
say that.
stacked.
Yeah, she is.
Anyway, before I give my pick, Coach X actually has this one. Man, Bushland is playing Paradise. I mean, that's just crazy. Ask anybody in Texas, where is Paradise? And they will usually say it's the Bushland. I spent a couple of days in Bushland a few years ago, and brother, they weren't lying. The Bushland has been trimming and waxing most opponents this year, but then again, that is usually the case. The Bushland defense has been tight all season. They don't give up just for any team. The defense gets it done week after week as they snap shut on Paradise. The Bushland wins. So he says Bushland. By the way, that was funny. Good job. I actually like that. I'm going to go Paradise, and here's why. The 1 week. Huh?
Nothing.
Yeah. Oh, why? Wait.
No, I'm just saying, make your pick. Let's go.
Jesus, man.
Go ahead.
Okay, why you want to break that?
Can I tell you this?
What?
I once had a coach tell us that.
Tell us as like as a show, or you when you played?
Played, or I heard this somewhere. Why did I hear Alexa somewhere?
She's giving me my NFL report.
Okay. That he said, men, panties aren't the best thing in the world, but they're right up there next against it. That was pretty funny.
Dude, we're not even in the second. We're 9 minutes into the second show.
Well,
and
it's because of you. We would have been to Region 3 if you wouldn't have.
Anyway,
effing the dog.
The deal with Bushland, and this has been their thing since last year too, is they struggle against the run. And Paradise is gonna. I mean, Austin Iglesias at quarterback throws, but what makes him great is he might be the best dual threat quarterback in 3A, in a 3A that has some of the greatest quarterbacks we've seen in 3A. I just don't know. Bushland hasn't shown me that they're going to stop that. The Canadian with a dual threat quarterback just absolutely dominated them at times.
He gutted them, but he gutted them with his arm and then his legs in the second quarter. And
Iglesias was just flipping.
They figured it out.
It was too late.
Bushland, it was too late.
And I don't think it's going to be that bad by any stretch.
No,
I do think
this will not be 35-0 at the end of the first quarter.
But I do think this is a first to 50 might have to. That might be what it takes to win. I think this is high scoring.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think this Paradise defense is going to allow that to happen.
And then kind of makes me go, does Bushland maybe get beat by 2 or 3 touchdowns?
I think Paradise wins this by 7 to 8 points. I think this is a darn good game, but I think at the end of the day, all the indicators point to Paradise winning this game.
I just don't know if Bushland can get behind and win this game.
All right, so we both got Paradise. They'll take on the winner of Clyde 11-1 and Brock 9-3, being played over in Graham on Friday. Brock, we know what they have, right?
Yep.
Stout defensive front. Quarterback's getting better. Running backs can pound the rock. Clyde's got everything quarterback in Blake Carr, who is a dual threat. Dejon Baker, Booker at receiver. But at the end of the day, this Brock defensive front and the linebackers and the Brock offensive line are going to win this football game. And I think it kind of gets away from Clyde. I think Brock, I think Brock will win by 3 touchdowns or so and take on Paradise in the region final.
Yeah, to me, this one is one of the probably biggest blowouts of 3A this week.
See, I'm trying to say it's not a blowout, but I can see it.
I mean, and look, Blake Carr, what he's done this year for Clyde is great. But I mean, again,
he's running into a buzzsaw.
Yeah, and a buzzsaw that has seen this type of quarterback in Austin Iglesias. And Austin, I think Austin Iglesias, nothing against Blake Carr. Blake Carr's bigger. I think Blake Carr's a better overall throwing quarterback, but just the total package, I think Austin Iglesias is a little bit better.
And I don't think you're going to see the Brock team that showed up against Gunner.
Oh no, I don't even think
a thing
about
of the
that
past,
anymore.
Right? I think Brock and I got to say it, Brock, Malakoff, maybe Winsboro are just headed towards a region semifinal or a state semifinal showdown like nothing we've ever seen.
I'll go ahead and say that the state semifinals period this year are going to just be and I hope. I mean, we can't go to both.
One's got to be on Thursday.
I will. Yeah,
I think Brock Malakoff or Brock Winsboro would be at the Star or something.
That would be a good. Yeah, that's a great natural place for them.
Thursday night,
because I mean it's all going to be fun. But unfortunately for Clyde, a great season by Clyde.
Oh yeah.
Again, we sometimes lose that part, but we're talking about a Clyde team that since 2018 has not had more than 7 wins in a season. Just 2 years ago, they were 1-8. And so this has been one of those fun runs to watch. I just think it comes up short.
Yeah. All right. Region 2, Winsboro 11-0 taking on 11-1 Whitney Friday over in Kaufman at 1:00. This is going to be a good one right here, man.
I think
Whitney coming off that big win over Tatum. I know Tatum did not have Cole Watson. We thought they might. I think we even actually said that he would play, but I don't know where we got that from, but we did.
Stupid.
Whatever. But that Whitney defense only allows about 15 points a game.
Yeah, you look at them, and on the year, their one loss was to Grandview. They gave up 40 in that, and you can make the case, okay, when they've played a good offense, they've given up points. And I think at the end of the day, that is going to be what happened. I like Winsboro in this game. I mean, we've talked about him all year long in Kyler Finney, but it's not.
That dude is one of the best
again
quarterbacks
in a 3A Division I. This might be the most stacked quarterback year we've seen. He's right there, but let's not forget part of what makes him great is that triple threat at wide receiver.
Oh yeah,
Will Wilcox, Malik Reddick, and Tristan Majera. And they're so balanced. You got 2 tall guys that can run, and then you got a slot in Tristan that's 5'11", and that dude is quick. He's a Julian Edelman type, and when they isolate him and get him on a linebacker and force that linebacker in coverage, they will just eat all day.
Well,
I thought Teague would give them at least a challenge.
No,
but man, they just destroyed a really good Teague defense.
Offensively, they are so good because they can throw the deep ball. By the way, Winsboro, Kyler Finney, can throw the deep ball, and one of those receivers comes down with it. It seems like every time you go back and watch the film on their games. We watched about a quarter against Hooks, and what did they do? Kyler Finney would throw it up, and one of those receivers would come down with it every time.
It's like having 2 Noah Birdsongs from Wimberley on your team. Not just one, but 2.
Great comparison.
Yeah,
yes.
It's crazy.
And I had said, Whitney's defense just allows 15 points a game, and that's great. But let's go and look at Winsboro's defense. They only allow about 10 points a game.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I mean, this is a well-rounded team, Winsboro, and they might be the dark horse of this region. They're really close.
I don't even know if they're the dark horse.
I they think get the winner of Grandview 11-1 and Malakoff 12-0.
I forgot to make sure Coach X. I forgot he did do it right in for Brock Clyde. So let me read this real quick. This is for Brock Clyde, Coach X. Does this game not sound like there should be a kid saying meet at the flagpole at 3:30 after school? Clyde has been talking smack all year to Brock about how Gunner took his lunch money and his girl. Brock finally has had enough, so it's the throwdown on the playground. Brock is going to come out on top. I had to read that because that was funny. All right, now.
But like Clyde looks like the one-eyed kid, like almost like Popeye, and Brock.
That kind of has
Brock is like the Highland Park kid with the sweater.
Yeah,
around.
To be fair, in the movie, we would rip
sometimes you would rip the.
Yeah,
you've seen the prep just rip his.
To be fair, in the movie, we would root for Kyle.
The,
Kyle would be the underdog. You remember that movie, 3 O'Clock High? That was a great movie.
Don't remember that
from 1985. That's where he's getting that from. That's
probably reading books back then.
Yeah, Playboys.
Because I do now.
Playboys.
That's a magazine.
Yeah,
I didn't read that.
Grandview 11-1.
Every issue. Didn't do much reading.
I always read I got it for the content.
Right.
The content. Grandview 11-1 versus
You can't say that.
Malakoff 12-0. Why? I thought we got approved by Brett for PG-16.
No. I don't know where you got that because Brett and I talk every day and he did not approve any of that.
Grandview 11-1 versus Malakoff 10-2. 2 p.m. Friday at Mesquite Hamby Stadium. A rematch of a rematch of a rematch of a rematch. These teams have been playing each other for a while. It was different this year because this was the first time it wasn't like 21-17 as Malakoff crushed Grandview in week 2, 51-21. And somebody, I was talking with a friend of mine about this game. They're a Malakoff guy. And I did the whole, hey,
you have a friend that's a Malakoff guy?
Yeah, he went to college with me. He went
school. I just wonder. That's weird.
No, he went to Malakoff back when Malakoff wasn't. They were okay.
Still weird.
Why did I have friends?
Yeah,
that's true. I really don't.
And one from Malakoff.
Yeah, I know.
Weirder.
Yeah, but anyway, I was doing the whole, hey, Grandview's gotten better. And he made the point. He goes, why is it when teams rematch, they always say the losing team has gotten better? The winning team can get better as well. And Malakoff has. I mean, Malakoff hasn't been challenged this year.
Well, and I went and saw Grandview and Pottsboro last week.
Oh,
and let me tell you, that Grandview defense left a lot to be
desired.
That
came out of nowhere.
Offensively, they look fine. They look great.
Yeah.
They can match up against just about anybody. But if that Grandview defense that played against, and Major McBride for Pottsboro, he's a stud.
Is he not everything he is amazing.
Right.
Great career.
But still, Malakoff's got about 2 or 3 of those.
Now, I will say this.
It starts with Mike Jones at quarterback. Chauncey Hogg is a playmaker, but let's not forget this Malakoff defense has only allowed 94 points all year. They've outscored their opponents 946 to 94.
I just, in today's football, even the great ones get challenged usually at some point. And Malakoff is not here. It ain't happening
next week. All right,
maybe
we'll talk.
Yeah.
Malakoff, Winsboro, I think it'll be in the region finals. We'll talk about being challenged, but I don't think Grandview defensively has anything to offer the Malakoff Tigers right now.
I totally agree with you. All right. Let's go to Region 3 and talking about rematches. Oh, my God. We got a district rematch and we got a playoff game from last year rematch in what has been, we come into these years and we point to a region and sometimes it just doesn't happen. Whatever injuries, but this year we said Region 3, Class 3 Division 1 would be the best region of all that we've covered, and it has not in any way fallen short of that.
Little River. 3 of the 4 teams are from the same district.
3 of the 4 teams are from the same district.
Academy, Franklin, and Lorena.
And
we
Little River
said it was the toughest district in the state, and lo and behold, here it is.
Yep. And Little River Academy with the, I called it. You said you were right on the edge of calling it, but people are calling it the biggest upset of 3A Division 1 when they beat Hitchcock in round 1. They've continued. They get the rematch of Franklin. Here's the problem. I don't know. First off, these teams just played 4 weeks ago.
Yeah,
look at
this 49-28, and
it wasn't that close.
Yeah.
Little River Academy threw a couple touchdowns on late. This is one of those games. I just don't think it's a good matchup for Little River Academy.
Yeah,
I mean-
Casey Mraz and Kavili Neely, two great offensive
this is a
players
great
for
team.
Academy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, you're right. It is not a great matchup. There's not too many great matchups for this Franklin team. The thing is, the team playing below them, two teams playing below them.
Well, yeah, they
Lorena and
are.
Columbus
Those two are. Exactly.
They just happen to be in the same region. But I think Franklin dispatches of Academy this week, and they go on to take on the winner of Lorena and Columbus. Who do you got?
I've got Franklin in this game.
All right.
All right, hang on. Let me go Coach X. So for 3 weeks, I've been trying to clarify my previous write-up about Franklin and Little River, and yet my words have gone unread on this. Funny how that works. So no, I have no ill will towards Coach Fannin. My write-up was a pun about the Little River Band. The Lovable Loser is an LRB song. I thought a music connoisseur like Terry, I'm not a music connoisseur, would get that. But alas, he's let me down again. Franklin wins, even though I have no respect for Coach Fannin. Okay, that's what he says. He wanted me to read word for word, so I just read word for word.
He did not put in that no respect.
We'll never know.
Okay, cool.
No, he didn't.
I
was
like
kidding.
your sense. He didn't?
No,
Or
he didn't say that.
Okay.
I would not purposely do that, though he did say he doesn't like him. All right, so let's now
He
go.
didn't say that either.
Did he? Let's go to the
Wow.
second one. Look,
This is probably the game of the state in Class 3A, all divisions.
Yeah, oh,
3A,
yeah.
Division 1,
Oh,
Division
yeah.
2. Lorena 10-2, Columbus 10-2. And they get the chance to take on Franklin
yeah. Well, and you and I
in the
saw
region finals.
you and I saw in the first round last year a Columbus team that had a lot of potential but a lot of questions grow up right before our eyes.
Yeah.
We saw in the first quarter where Lorena was popping them in the mouth, and by that third quarter, Columbus was like, "All right, let's do this."
Yeah.
And they ended up pulling off the upset at the time, going all the way to the region final, falling short to Franklin, but giving Franklin everything they could.
Yeah, Franklin had to pull it out on the last drive, right?
Yeah, last drive. Lorena at times this year has been up and down, but you got to realize 90% of that is who they've played.
And
One of the
Lorena's
toughest
getting healthy
schedules.
now.
They're getting healthy now. I like Columbus, though.
Look,
I like Columbus.
it's a tough one, man. I think I like Columbus too. I mean, their defense only allows about 11 points a game. Tyrone Whitehead, the running back for Columbus, is key in this game, right? That
Mhm.
defensive front for Lorena is really good.
But they have
But that
given up points against good offenses this year.
They have.
And I think Columbus fits into that as a good offense.
Well, I think Columbus is so good up front.
dude,
You are, I mean, they are.
you get
they
lost.
will push guys out of the way. They're so physical. Tyrone Whitehead too. They set the edge really well
Oh,
for
yes.
Whitehead, and that's the thing. Whitehead right now, I think at least when we saw them against Columbus against Hitchcock, was running the football was the second option. Right? They wanted to throw the football, but when it got down to nut cutting time, Columbus could physically just line up and said, "Okay, we're running the ball here. Stop us."
And that was the
And
thing
that's
we were
what they
worried about
did.
in that game.
And they were able to set the edge.
Yep.
Tyrone Whitehead just absolutely named his score running the football. And I don't know that they can do that against Lorena because Lorena is a way better defensive front. Their linebackers are a lot more physical, but I still think they can make hay. And then, Adam Schobel at quarterback.
Yeah,
now,
let's not forget how good he is and how
Oh.
good their wide receivers are and
dude.
their tight end and their passing game. Like you said, and I think what makes them so vital is as a coaching staff, they have realized we don't, because at time we saw it against Madisonville. At times they
Yeah.
were throwing, and you and I were even like, why are they're up 3 touchdowns? Why are you throwing right here? By the time they got in the playoffs last year, that had changed, and coaching staffs mature the same way.
Yeah,
I will
now,
disagree with you on one thing. Though I don't think Lorena's defense is that good. I mean,
think they
relative
are.
to.
I mean, look at who they played.
That's my point.
though.
Okay,
They
but
played
Columbus's offense is up in the level with a La Vega,
Sure,
with
sure.
a Little River Academy,
Okay,
with a Franklin.
Sure, but I think Lorena has been playing this week in and week out. They started off with China Spring,
Mm-hmm.
right? They did, and they played the Franklins. They played the La Vegas. They played a tough schedule. I'm not saying that Columbus can't move the ball because obviously they're going to be able to, but don't think the Cardinals are going to just come in and run all over Lorena's defense. And I think Lorena's offense can move the ball as well with Braylon Henry, who's averaging about 175 yards a game on the ground. Jaden Porter, the receiver, one of the best receivers in Class 3A. Caden Roberts, the quarterback, has really grown up.
We've talked about it.
This is going to be one hell of a game. It's going to come down to one possession.
Yeah.
I like Columbus because of Tyvone Whitehead at running back. But don't be surprised to see Lorena win this.
Oh, no. This is, first off, I think this is a 46-40 type game. I want to go back to Lorena, the quarterback position working out for them, allowing them to move Jackson Generals to kind of an all-around guy.
Oh, yeah.
Completely changed.
He's deadly, too.
Yeah,
by the way. You start
changed.
keying on Porter and Henry and all those guys.
Jackson General's going to kill you.
Yeah, he is.
But I don't think either defense, and this is not a knock on either defense, I don't think either defense makes a lot of stops this game. I think this is a 46-42, just one of those what this region has been the last 2 years. I just feel Columbus. I'm kind of starting to feel that this might be Columbus's year.
I like the physicality of both of these teams.
Oh yeah,
I do.
And there is a valid. Hey,
knock your block
and you
off.
make a point. There is a valid point of, do these two teams end up slobber knocking each other so much, and you get Franklin, who's going to be in a tough game, but I think we both feel Franklin wins by 3 touchdowns. Can they then
2 touchdowns? I think it's 2.
Okay, that's fine. But can they then in 7 days roll right back into ready to play Franklin? But
these are high school kids, and they tend to rebound. They're almost like Play-Doh. Or
I miss those days. Man, this morning I got a glass of milk and I'm out 2 weeks.
I sneezed the other day.
Oh, dude,
I pulled a hamstring sneezing. How's that happen?
I remember, and I can't remember his name.
Get
but there was
off my lawn.
There was a baseball player back in the 90s who sneezed and he was out.
Oh, Ken Griffey.
No, it wasn't Ken Griffey. But anyways,
his name and the only one I could remember from the 90s.
But he sneezed and he was out like 2 weeks. And I used to think, man, that's so stupid. I have now sneezed to where I'm like not in bed the whole day, but my back or my ribs are just absolutely. So yeah,
have you ever shit your pants when coughing? Because that's really old. Coach X has done that.
Well, Coach X just does it because it's fun. He doesn't even have to. No, he just does it for it. Let me see. Does everything on this one? He didn't
we can't say that word, by the way.
Coach X?
No, shit.
Coach X is a shit. There we go.
You can't poop.
Wow, he didn't say anything on this game. Hey, you suck, dude.
All right, so we both have Columbus and Franklin playing in the region finals next week. Got to be there, man.
And here's the great thing about this region: even if Little River Academy pulled the upset off, whoever they would play is a great game. If it's Franklin and Lorena, it's a great game. We've already seen that one.
Yeah.
If it's Franklin and Columbus, it's a great game. This region has bore fruit this year, and it's there's a reason why we keep ending up going down to Houston in this area a lot in 4A and 3A this year.
Yep.
I can't wait. We're not going to be there, but this is one of those. This is why we are in press boxes in the playoffs, so we can have a laptop and we can literally sometimes, like when we went to Belleville, end up watching more on the laptop than we did at the game that we're at.
That's right. All right. Region 4, Vanderbilt Industrial 8-3 taking on 9-2 Edna. This is in Bay City.
Hey,
Friday
good call
at 1
for you,
o'clock.
by the way. I thought Vanderbilt's season was going to come to an end last week against the Rohawks. I really felt that, and maybe it was one of those that I was kind of picking the newer team of the group.
I think it was who each played.
Yeah, I think a lot of that.
Looking at it in hindsight,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, and that's easier. But you said, I mean, I went with the Rohawks last week. You not only said you thought the Cobras would win, but you even said I think they win comfortably, and they did, 38-21. Jumped out and never really let the Rohawks, and that's part of why they won. They never let the Rohawks kind of get into their game. But boy, we know them and Edna, and man, they had a surprisingly high scoring game in district. I think it was 56-35. Edna won that game.
Look, I'm still under the impression, I still feel like Edna is the class of this region. We started out the year in the preseason shows saying Edna would win the region. I still think they will. I think Edna will win against Vanderbilt Industrial, and they'll take on 10-2 Goliad and 10-1 or 10-2 Blanco being played at 1 o'clock on Friday in Seguin. You have Edna as well, I'm assuming?
No, I have Industrial in this game.
Do you really?
I do want to point out.
Oh, sorry to get ahead of myself.
Oh, no, it's not a big deal. No, I'm just going by. I'm literally going of the the one team won in the play district. I think the one team wins in the playoffs. I do want to point out how great 15-3 has been this year. 3 teams. We talk about Region 3 and that one. 3 teams are still alive, and there's a good chance that they're going to, because I think Goliad will beat Blanco. So there's a good chance you're going to have 15-3 eliminate each other in the playoffs in the next 2 rounds.
So you think Industrial is going to beat Edna?
Yes.
All right. I think Edna will beat Industrial this go around, and they'll take on the winner of Goliad 10-2, Blanco 10-2. I like Goliad.
Yeah, I do too.
I think Goliad's defense is really good. They give up under 14 points a game. Now they'll have, Cameron Anderson, the quarterback for Blanco, who's really good, and a receiver in Trevin Young that's really good for Blanco. But I really like this Goliad defense. They've been tough all year.
Let's just go ahead. We talk about it. Edna and Industrial, when they played, there was a combined 90 points. Goliad had held Industrial to 8 points and held Edna to 6 points. That tells you right there how good Goliad's defense is.
Yeah.
On the year, they did give up 30 to Tidehaven and 40 to Jordanton, but I mean, those are 2 really good programs, and they were in non-district. At this point, September and August scores are just there to talk. Everything now is what have you done for me in the last 5 to 6 weeks, and what they've done defensively has been pretty darn good with 4 shutouts. London being the only team to score over 20 points in that match, or 22 points in since then. I like Blanco, and I think for this area they're pretty athletic, but I just think that Goliad defense and the linebacker core for them with Angel Hernandez at the front, I just think that they're better. I mean, I legitimately think that. I mean, they've proved it in district. I think they're winning this region.
Yeah, I look, Edna Goliad, just like we saw a few years ago in Austin at DKR Memorial Stadium a few years ago. I think that's going to be the rematch. I think,
and I have it being Vanderbilt Goliad.
I think Edna finds its stroke this week.
I have no problem. Again, I know what I'm picking would be considered a slight upset. All right, that's Class 3A Division 1. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to do it all again for Class 3A Division 2 Region Semifinal Talk, brought to you by SI Design and Printing, right here on L4 Media. All right, we're going to do a couple live reads here. We want to thank Small Town Society right there in Franklin, not only for being a sponsor on this show, but for being the title sponsor of the Franklin Football Show. By the way, that will be recorded Wednesday. I think that one's being recorded at like noon. It's a little different this week because of Thanksgiving, and also with them being out of school, they're able to have their practice schedules a little bit different. You can find them online at shopsmalltownsociety.com. Use the discount code free shipping, and you get, well, you can guess it, free shipping on all retail orders. They have game day gear, they have holiday gear, they have Texas gear, inspirational gear. They have it all. Shopsmalltownsociety.com. You can also find them on Facebook. Just type in Small Town Society Apparel Company. Also, Jet Boats of Texas, located out in Iran. I love that they're in Iran. If you want a boat, you want to have a jet on it and you want to build it custom made, go to Jet Boats of Texas. You can do it for fishing boats, for ski boats, for just trolling around the river boats, whatever you want a boat for, they have them. And again, you can find them online at jetboatsoftexas.com. They have products such as Wet Sounds, Rotac, and Arctic. You can also find them on Facebook at Jet Boats of Texas. And then we also want to thank Everidge Farms. You can find them online at everidgefarms.com. If you're Texan and you like meat, and we all know Grant loves meat, maybe some weird meat, but loves meat. He really does have some weird meat. That 72-day steak that you did that one time for Noe and I, man, that was I've heard of meat being rich and like almost dessert style.
Dry aged it for 80 days.
Yes, 80 days. And it didn't look great until you bit into it. And it's one of those, it was so rich, you can't eat it all the time. Like that's one of the things you just have to do once every couple of years. But man, it was awesome. And
can't beat a dry aged steak, man.
And that's what Everidge Farm has best. Their dry aged beef, the Texas Wagyu, which I know Texas Wagyu and know of it. But once we got sponsored, they got on sponsor, I was doing some YouTube stuff. And I didn't know that Texas Wagyu is starting to really honestly be compared and saying that, hey, this is as good as the original Japanese Wagyu, that they've done as good of a job. And Everidge Farms is one of those. You can get things like their Farmer's Special, which is a weekly box. That's just it's dry aged steaks, it's chuck, it's a bunch of stuff. They also have their West Texas grill box. They have their West Texas hunting box. They have it all. everidgefarms.com. And we do appreciate all of them being a sponsor here on our show. And they're going to be doing some big stuff during the state championship. We've talked a little bit about it, and we'll go ahead and talk about it now. We won't worry about doing an intro since you came back in during this. But during the state championship game, we're going to be doing our previews, our pre-shows, our post-game shows. But we're also going to be having some watch parties on Wednesday night for the 2A game, Thursday for the 2A, 3A games, and then Friday for the 2 4A games. Friday, intern Noah will be in studio watching the game. You might show up on Wednesday night for the 2A game. We're going to have coaches on video during the games. Matt Diggs, NETSN Brett Lee. We're just going to have a lot of people coming on and talking during that. So be checking that out. And we've done these watch parties for Monday Night Football. Intern Noah and I did one last night for a great game. And we had 3,500 people. It was awesome. I mean, we never know when we're doing this stuff, we're still a new company by all accounts. And we never know what we're going to get. And to see so many people coming in and actually chatting with us. And we want that to happen during the high school football stuff as well. Of course, we'll have more details on those. But since you're in here, welcome back, everybody, to the Class 3A division Class 3A region semifinal show. We did Division 1. Now we're going to do 3A Division 2. I'm assuming we start where we always start, and that's out in Region 1.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
All right. Lubbock Roosevelt, 9-3, taking on 10-2 Wall. This is in Sweetwater on Friday at 5 o'clock. Roosevelt, their quarterback Nate Sazarez and their running back Sebastian Sandoval, just two. It seems like unstoppable forces on offense sometimes, right? But this defense, whoa, you cut my mic.
No, it's back. Sorry, I was trying to do something.
Now I got to start over.
All the way to the beginning of 3A Division 2, 3A Division 1.
This Wall defense is only allowing about 7 points a game. So good luck to Sazarez and Sandoval from Roosevelt cracking this Wall defense for 4 quarters. I think they'll get their yards early, but I don't think they can do it for 4 quarter. Wall averages almost 300 yards a game on the ground themselves. And can this Roosevelt defense stand up to that running game that Wall's going to throw at them?
We always say things like, well, when you play a good defense, when you play a good offense, what do you do? And flip it on Lubbock Roosevelt. When they have played good defenses, they've struggled this year. Their 3 losses are to Hawley, where they scored 6, Idalou, where they were shut out, and to Kahoma, where they scored 22.
Yeah.
I think you're playing a good Wall defense.
Yeah, a great Wall defense.
And congrats on Roosevelt for they were 14-1 2 years ago. And then last year they had to do a complete rebuild because they lost so many great players, 4-7. For them to bounce back and be in the region semifinals in of itself, I think is awesome. I just think Wall is on a little bit different level this year in that part of the region.
I think they are. Now, Wall wins. We both agree. Are they just going to be fodder for Canadian.
Yes.
Right. Canadian 12-0 taking on 8-4 Idalou over at Dick Bivens Stadium in Amarillo on Friday at 2:00. I think they are absolutely fodder because Canadian wins this game against Idalou going away. And I'm not going to say they wiped the field wall, but I don't know how close it could be because Canadian's just on a different level right now.
Now, I will say this. They will be playing the toughest defense they've seen to date in Wall.
Yes, I think so. I'll have to go back and check the film. Yes,
but none of
I
that'll
believe
matter.
so.
None of it'll matter.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But
yeah,
Canadian can crack that.
Yeah.
Canadian is just Canadian and Gunner should be a state final.
Yeah, it really should. And this year,
But
it
they're
really
not.
should be.
You know,
Well,
every year.
I'm going to finally. Sometimes they fail me. Sometimes I buy in and they fail me. And we'll talk about it. But my God, that Dangerfield over there.
Oh, I know, but this is a semifinal that we're talking about.
No.
Canadian and Gunner.
But I'm saying you're saying that should be a state championship game. I'm saying
yeah, no. If Gunner plays the way, or Dangerfield plays the way they played against Hooks, they're hard to beat.
Yeah,
but we're not talking about that yet.
I want to talk about that. No, I'm kidding. All right, let's go to region.
Let's go in order.
I don't like order.
Coach X have anything?
No, he doesn't have anything until this one coming up.
Okay.
Jacksboro 12-0 versus Holiday 11-1. This game's Friday, 7 p.m. at Graham Newton Field. The Holiday show will be recorded. The 4 shows left that we have will all be recorded tomorrow. Holiday will be on there. I have doubted Jacksboro for 2 rounds now, and they have proved me wrong. First off, congratulations on that. But also just congratulations on the season. We knew that Jacksboro was going to be a tough out when we did the preview show all the way back in August. We talked about them having so many back from an 8-4 team and an offense in Lando Belcher that can move the ball. Really good, tall, big stud wide receiver in Cannon Valenzuela. Was it Valenzuela?
You're doing great, man.
Thank you. And they've all year long, that offense has just been absolutely amazing. But that defense struggles at times against really good teams.
And Holiday's got a pretty darn good defense as well.
And that I will make the case that I think this is the best defense that they have seen. Jacksboro is going to see all year.
I think so. And I'm taking Holiday, which I think might be a slight upset. Don't you think?
I think when you get the people making picks and they're looking at just records and stuff, not like Holiday has a bad record. They have 1 loss to Jim Ned. And I will make the case that was the best thing that happened to Holiday. Them losing to Jim Ned and getting kind of pushed around, everybody was talking about, the offense is Holiday's different. They're doing all this different and blah, blah, blah. And then the defense got pushed around and it made the defense mad. And they have responded. And they have played just lights out since that day against some pretty good teams. But yeah, I think some people would call it a slight upset. I don't. I think Holiday would be the favorite, but I'm also picking Holiday.
Yeah, I'm picking Holiday as well, but I do think it would be an upset. Look, this Holiday defense has to show up. I mean, that quarterback for Jacksboro can go off on you at any time. So as long as Holiday defense shows up and they play well offensively in this new offense that they have, and don't have a lot of 3rd and 3 and outs, right?
Yeah.
I think they're fine.
I'm gonna say I think Holiday could win a shootout. I think
I think they could too.
This isn't a Holiday offense of old, but the great thing about them is they can, and they have this year at times went back into that old school. We're going to just run between the tackles, run some edge. But man, Garrett Cox at quarterback, I mean, he has put together, I'm pretty sure by leaps and bounds, he's going to be the single season leader for Holiday in passing. And people like Therese Polite and Casey Yao, guys who they're not on the stat sheet like they were last year, but they're still making big time plays.
Polite and Yao can get the edge for Holiday.
Yes.
And I don't know if anybody could do that last year consistently for Holiday, but these 2 guys can.
Well, and their offense just wasn't predicated on that.
Yeah.
I just think Holiday matches up well against Jacksboro on both sides of the ball.
All right. So we both have Holiday. They'll take on the winner of Comanche 8-4 and Gunner 12-0. This is at Choctaw Stadium Friday at noon in Arlington. Look, Comanche, Sawyer Wilkerson at running back. What is it? Layden Welch at quarterback, I believe it is. And then Kyler Beatty at receiver. They're going up, though, this really good offense for Comanche is going up against a Gunner defense is only giving up 62 points all year.
And a lot of that's in trash time.
Yeah, some of that is.
Well, first off, I want to say congratulations to Comanche for bouncing back. Well, no, seriously, because they were 3-0 and then 3-4. They'd lost to Millsap. They'd lost to Jacksboro. We were here on the show going, wow, this season has not turned out how Comanche thought. They really
tough schedule, though.
Yeah, tough schedule. And they were it felt like maybe they were going to completely just spin out. They bounced back. And you can say, well, look at who they've played in district. That's fine. But they beat in back-to-back weeks a Henrietta team that was really, really solid and a scary roster team. We can talk about how if that was a paper 10-0 or 11-0 at that point, but they still beat them. And so congratulations on getting to where you thought you were going to be. But we're going to go back to what we talked about in Region 1. It's Gunner.
Yeah.
And in fact, let me go ahead and say what Coach X has to say because it's relative to this. 83 points in a playoff game. What happened? Did someone try to return roach-infested cereal? Gunner is having none of that back then either. Cereal returns, nope. Stopping from running up the score, nope. Well, that's going to make this week hard to swallow. Oh, that's right. I forget. He will not pick against. He won't pick for Gunner. That's going to be hard to swallow this week when the Indians scout that defense and roll. Comanche rolls.
Okay. Can Comanche stop Walker Overman at quarterback?
No.
Kenan Lindbergh, receiver? No. I mean, just outside of Walker Overman for Gunner is hard enough to stop, right?
Yeah.
They got about 7 more dudes.
They got a backup quarterback that if they need to just throw the ball, that they can just throw the ball. Not that Walker Overman can't, but you know what I mean.
Right.
If they wanted to go into a spread and throw traditional offense, they can do that with fun. Dude, do you realize how much crap we would hear from Coach X if Comanche pulled the upset off?
If anybody pulled the upset off.
Well, no, if Canadian beat him, he can crow that because he's going to pick Canadian. But that's in that game. That's actually a valid pick. I can see.
That's been 3 years since that's happened.
Exactly. Though. But I'm just saying that's a valid pick. But if it's Comanche and if they were to pull the upset off, we would never hear the end of that.
That's true. That's true.
He would crow just like that time his JV soccer team won the district championship.
He was a hell of a soccer coach, even though he didn't know the first thing about
because he goes
soccer,
to
right?
YouTube and he just points at that to the players. Do that.
Real Madrid and Liverpool.
And he names all the players like, you're Messi. My name's John. You're Messi. Go out there.
Okay, sorry. I'll clean my locker, coach.
No, not. Wow.
What?
Sometimes you just anyway.
Okay. I don't know what that was, but
so we both have.
You can be toxic. That's
so
fine.
we both have at the end of the day Holiday versus Gunner next.
Yes.
And Jack, good job. By the way, good job on Jacksboro for breaking up that hole because it had been Bells gets beat by Holiday. Holiday gets beat by Gunner. So good job for Jacksboro of breaking through that part at least. All right, let's go to Region 3. We got. I never thought West Crust would be. I'm going to say that right now. I never thought West Crust would be playing in the region semifinals. They're 10-2.
Yeah, they got 2 really good running backs in Noah Murphy and Cole Jackson. And it has not only kept them in games, but won 10 games for them.
Yeah,
and a pretty good defense that gives up points at times, but is pretty good situationally.
Yeah, they can be. I mean, the 38 to Edgewood and the 35 to New Diana is a little concerning, especially when New Diana the week before had to win 7-0.
Edgewood's a little bit better than what I think a lot of people.
Dude, for Edgewood for the last 10 years, they can score. They either spit the bit when they shouldn't, or their defense just lets them down. But you're right. They always have some athletes. But anyway, they're playing Dangerfield, of course, 9-3. This game is 6 p.m. Friday at a very underrated Hallsville Bobcat Stadium. I said it when we were talking earlier. Dangerfield, the way they not just beating Hooks, but the way they beat Hooks, I'm back on there. I feel that Dangerfield, if there's a team that could win state outside of Canadian Gunner, I think it's Dangerfield.
As Jimmy Waits said, Jimmy and I went
Sheriff
over
of Omaha, not Nebraska,
or Naples. Texas,
he's tall enough though; he could be a sheriff of both. He could just look over to Nebraska.
Of Morris County, I guess you'd say. I think it'd be the sheriff of Morris County. I think that Omaha Naples is. He said, "Look, Hooks Dangerfield could go either way," and he and I went to this game. He said Dangerfield is so up and down. Sometimes you never know what you're going to get. If they come out, if Dangerfield comes out with their head bobbing, you know you're in for a long night.
That's
If
a
they
good
come
point.
out flat, not, their head bobbing and not a lot of emotion, then Hooks will win this game. What did they do? Dangerfield comes out, heads are a bobbing. He said, look out. Hooks about to get run out of the building. And what happened? Chase Johnson went off on him. Ashton Williams went off on him. They out physical.
It was holding that
offense,
offense, man. It was holding that Hooks offense to 6 points that does it for me.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's just, this is a team that 3 weeks ago got beat by Harmony 26-21. But when you look at them, and, we say they're unreliable. Maybe we're wrong, because this is since 2018, this is their record. 10-3, 10-3, 9-3, 10-3, 9-4.
Yeah.
Maybe they're more consistent where we're at. They're just part of the consistency is the inconsistency.
And maybe there's that one game where they come out and they're just dead.
Yeah.
Or flat, right? But this Dangerfield team that beat Hooks last Friday can beat anybody. They can beat anybody. Will we see that again? I think we will, but I don't know. We'll see. I like Dangerfield in this game. Though this is over in Hallsville, you said, on Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah. So be a good game, but I think if
I don't even know
out,
how good of a game it'll be.
Yeah, I mean, everything depends on Dangerfield. I think Dangerfield will come out and they build off of that Hooks domination, and they'll dominate West Rusk, and they'll set up a nice semifinal game against the winner of 10-2 Harmony and 10-0 Newton this Friday at in Lufkin, right?
Oh, hang on. Sorry. Let me pull back.
I think it is Lufkin.
Sorry. It is. Where'd they go? Where'd they go? Up. Yeah. Lufkin's Abe Martin Stadium.
All right. 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Right. Who do you like in this one?
Right.
I like Newton all day
long. Let me give Coach X.
Okay.
The rumors of Harmony demise was greatly exaggerated. They're kind of like Doc Holliday in Tombstone when Wyatt goes to fight Ringo and sees that Doc has already killed him. And Doc looks at them and says, oh, I ain't as sick as I made out. Well, Harmony, you better not be sick this week, because it feels like Newton has been working for 365 days to get back to this point. And here they are. Tell them Newton's coming and hell's coming with them. You hear it? Hell's coming with them. Give me Newton. And, of course, what he is talking about is last year, Harmony came into this game, and I don't know if it was this round. I think it was the next round, but everybody was assuming Newton's back, and Harmony beat them 36-22. I'm going Harmony again.
Are you really?
Yeah, I think Boston Seahorn and Braxton Baker and Weston Seahorn. I just think that Harmony is a matchup problem for Newton.
I don't think so this year.
That's fine. Again, this is one of the better games of the region, or the state.
Can and will get the edges on that Harmony defense early and often.
Oh, I think to win. I think a lot like last year. In fact, I think maybe it has to be a little bit more high scoring this year. I agree with you on that. I mean, and that is, if you want to look at where what has gotten Harmony in trouble, and it's not that they've necessarily given up big points. Like, they only gave up 26 to Hooks, but let's also remember that's what Harmony did last year. In fact, Harmony, by accounts, has had a better season than last year. Hell, they had 5 losses coming into the playoffs. But I just look at them offensively, man, and I think that they can do enough. I think it's a little higher scoring than what Newton would want, and I think that plays into every touchdown that gets more scored. I think plays into Harmony's hands better than Newton's.
Maybe, I don't know, but I just think Newton's defense is better this year.
I agree with that 100%. Dude, their defense,
athletes are in
they've matured
better
one
position.
More year.
Yeah, I think it's just Dangerfield Newton in a classic for next week for the region finals.
And this is nothing against West Rusk, but I think no matter if it's Harmony and Newton, Harmony versus Dangerfield, or Newton versus Dangerfield, that region final next week is going to, if it wasn't, well, depending on how some of the other games go. But yeah, I think that's the game of the week in this state. So either way, but yeah, I just think Harmony's just a little bit better. All right, let's go to Region 4 as we wrap things up. We've got Rogers 9-3 versus Tidehaven 11-0. 4 p.m. Cypress is Cy-Fair FCU Stand. That's the Berry Center, I think.
Yes.
So you and I have been riding all year long, and they have never let us down, and I see no reason to change that. Congratulations, though, Rogers. They started kind of slow, but against good teams. Losing to Little River Academy and losing to Troy, who was a very up and down, but a solid team this year. But man, since they hit district, that offense has been rocking. That defense has played really well. I just think Tidehaven's better. I mean, I just think they're better.
Yeah, I think so too. Look, Tidehaven's defense has only given up 20 points all season.
It's
20
crazy, man.
points. Now they're going up against a Rogers team that has 2 running backs in Bryce Watson and Abraham Hernandez, but I just don't think those two can crack this defense for Tidehaven. And Tidehaven's got a beast of a running back in Joseph Dobbs.
Oh man, so I had seen some of his stuff, and you and I talk about this. Highlights sometimes just they fail you because you're getting edited, but I got to see it a little bit more against Dilly last week. That dude is he's everything. A little bit of size, a little bit of speed, a little bit of quickness. It's like he's not going to blaze by you, but nobody catches him. He runs a little too high up for me, kind of like the old Eric Dickerson style. But hey, that's kind of coming back. I've noticed more.
Works.
Well, I was about to say I've noticed more, and then part of it's because linebackers are smaller, so your bigger running backs come at them. You want comparison, and again, you can only use these. I don't look at what happened in August to decide things. But we were just extolling Goliad in the last segment. Tidehaven beat them 30-0.
Right.
I mean, Tidehaven had their way. One team played within one possession of them, and that was East Bernard. And East Bernard this year was turned around and turned out to be pretty darn salty. I do hate that Vanderbilt Industrial game was canceled. I'd love to have seen that game in non-district.
Right.
But, dude, I mean, Tidehaven's just starting to feel like, again, we've gotten so into the Canadian Gunter, rightly so, but there's going to be some damn good semifinals outside of just them.
Oh, yeah.
Tidehaven versus whoever's out of region.
Division 2 is loaded.
Yes. I mean, and we hadn't even finished the last game. And you want to do that one?
Yeah. Poth 11-1, Lexington 9-3. This is over in New Braunfels on Friday at 6:30 p.m. at Cougar Stadium. Poth. Man, dude, Poth is really tough. But can that defense, who's been very good this year, that Poth defense has been solid. Can they contain Case Evans, though, one of the best young quarterbacks in 3A Division 2?
Well, I'll go back to what we've talked about before.
I'm taking Poth in this
I am too, because Lexington, against good defenses, have struggled this year. And so I just feel like, and man, when you talk about the Pirates and Jeff Luna, the first thing I think about them is defense. Mm-hmm. Defense. I mean, that's the reason why they made it to the state championship game last year. Their physicality and just they run that system so well. And, we didn't even talk about that a lot of times. And they gave up 42 to Gunner, but again, Gunner. But what they did to Harmony, the hottest team in the state outside of Gunner last year, and held them to 28 points. And I think, if I remember, 14 of those are pretty much after the game had been decided.
They ran Harmony out in the second half.
Yeah.
They did.
And that's what they do so well.
Yeah.
You'll get some shots on them early. They're one of that, in today's world, everybody scores. Even even bad offenses will find a way to get a one-on-one and it slips. They might give up a point or a touchdown or two early, but those second half adjustments and what they do coming out of the second half, I love what Lexington's done. They started slow, they bounced back, but man, I just think the Pirates win. And I'm not going to say it's bad, but I think it's comfortable.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I think it's Poth and Tidehaven in the region finals. I think Poth takes care of business, but I do think Lexington is enough to make it respectable.
Look out for Lexington. Where if Poth has a couple turnovers and gives Lexington short fields.
But look out for Lexington next year.
Yeah, because I think the quarterback and almost everybody's back. Here's what Coach X has to say. Hey, of all the big-time teams in Region 4, why is nobody talking about Lexington? They're a staple of Region 4, except when they're in Region 2, and then that one alignment when they were in Region 3. He's not wrong on that. Staples, nonetheless. I made a joke about nonetheless being one word, but I kind of like typing it that way, so I get it now. Anyway, I'm taking the Lexington Eagles in this one. Let freedom ring and let barbecue be ready.
Oh, Snows.
We're going to do it.
Some ribs and a pork steak. Snows brisket isn't the best, but their pork steak and ribs and sausage, good stuff. Man.
Pork steak, underrated, by the way.
Very well.
When it's done right. When pork steak is done right.
It's just not a big Texas thing, so people don't know
about it. Yeah,
but you get one at Lexington. Ooh, Man, that'll
All
put a hurting on you, man.
Want to remind everybody, of course, that we'll be back next week to be talking region finals. Be safe in your travels, whether it be for Thanksgiving or football. We hope your team wins. Whether they do or not, let's meet back next week and talk about it right here on Sideline to Sideline, the Class 3A edition, brought to you by SI Design and Printing on L4 Media.
Oh, we ride, pedal to the floor, boy, she begging for more.